Healing with Sam, Ep.4. What's going on, people? Hope you're all well. Hope you're doing good. Like and subscribe. So this is another cool part of the story. We've just left Portugal, having that crazy experience with the maybe angels and the whole I'm healing, I've healed. This is what I've come to do in this life. So that's just happened, and I've come back to France because when I was in the southwest of France, I met this woman and we spent 4 days together, and I was like, I'm moving to France. So I come back, I went home first. So because I had to go home and apply for a visa. So I went home, I'm applying for a visa, I'm moving to France to be with this woman who I'd spent 4 days with. Yeah. So I pack up all my stuff in my car and I'm heading to France via London, via the visa office to pick up my lovely year-long visa, which is going to allow me to live happily ever after with Florie in France. Get to London, denied. Visa has been rejected, probably because I was a little bit foolish and naive in the way I filled out the application. I thought it was because it was the whole Brexit thing had just happened, wasn't it, I think. So all of a sudden you had to have a visa to be in France. You couldn't just stay there anymore. You could only stay there for 3 months at a time. And so when I'm filling out this form where it says like, oh, what are you doing in France? What do you intend to do? I literally just wrote, spending time with a girl I recently met. Apparently that wasn't a good enough reason. So yeah, visa has been denied, but I've got all my stuff. Like, I'm going to France. So I just carry on and going to France. I've got another month I can have there before I've been there for my 3 months before having to come back. So yeah, I get to France, move into this lovely little cottage in the countryside for a month. And at a certain point, Florie, and blessings to Florie for this, because this was a really crucial part in the journey, I think, this moment. So yeah, blessings to Florie. So she got me an appointment with an Ayurvedic doctor who I think was like a world-renowned Ayurvedic doctor who was coming to run a retreat or something with her boss's partner. And so as a little surprise, as a treat, she'd got me an appointment with this doctor because she thought it'd be something I'd be into. So I have this appointment with the doctor and it's really cool. And I'm telling him I have cystic fibrosis, but I think I can heal myself. And he was just like, yeah, you can. Just nonchalantly as if it's nothing. Obviously, if I say something like that to a doctor over here, you just laugh at me, tell me to shut up, take your meds. So we have the appointment, it's cool, and he's telling me some different things and whatever. But then the crucial moment came right at the end, just as I'm walking out the door, and he turns to me and says, oh, and by the way, I could feel from your pulse, if you want to heal yourself, you will need to love yourself more. And I was just like, okay. And just walked out the door. Afterwards, I was like, fuck, I probably should have asked him what he meant by that. Should have got him to elaborate on that a bit more because I had no idea what he was talking about. At this point, this was before the whole journey into repressed emotion had begun. So I was just like, okay. And it's crazy, that whole thing of like what they can tell by feeling your pulse, because he'd said to me as well from feeling my pulse that I have hemorrhoids. And I was just like, don't think I do, but it turns out I didn't really know what hemorrhoids was. And then we were talking about it after with Florie and her boss and her partner, and I was saying about that. And I was like, what even is hemorrhoids? And they told me, and I was like, oh yeah, I do have hemorrhoids. I was like, how did he know that from feeling my pulse? That's crazy. So I was like, okay, there's something to it. And I was like, well, I really should have asked him what he meant by that. But I just thought, okay, whatever it is, if I need to love myself more to be able to heal myself, don't know what that means, but I will figure it out. It will present itself. That path will open up. And I set that intention. And as I've spoken to before, the importance and the power of intention and belief. And so this is why I think that moment there, having that experience with the doctor, him telling me that I need to love myself more if I want to heal myself, and setting the intention for that to be so. And that, I think, ultimately was a really important moment in opening the path for that process to then unfold over the following 4 years up until this point, where I can probably say that I do indeed love myself. I experience deep, deep feelings of love for myself. And that's been one hell of a journey. And has ultimately been a big part of my journey into repressed emotion, dealing with all of these feelings of shame and self-hatred and worthlessness and feeling like I don't deserve to live and all the rest of it. And at the time, I just didn't understand any of that. He told me that and I was like, I don't know what he means. I don't have any issue with my self-worth. And it was interesting because I actually had a lot of relationships, friendships at the time with people who had sort of very obvious issues with self-worth. And so I was just thinking, well, that's not me. I'm not like that. Like, I don't But yeah, as it would turn out, as I started to uncover a few months later with the first journey I had with ayahuasca, I did indeed have all of these deeply buried feelings of shame and worthlessness and self-hatred. Yeah. And ultimately then that journey into diving into all of that has been a huge part and the main part of my process for the last 4 years. Really going in head first into the emotional realm, consequently the spiritual realm involved with that as well. Yeah, that's been a huge part of the journey, the emotional aspect of healing. And then later down the line, taking me into the ancestral emotion that potentially lies at the root of the disease. And that comes a couple of years later. So I think we'll leave it there for now for this episode. So where we're at, I need to love myself more. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to figure it out. A couple months later, first time doing ayahuasca, that process starts to unfold. And that's where we'll pick it up on the next episode. So yeah, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed that little part of the story. Where are you at with your journey of loving yourself? Do you love yourself? What does that mean to you? Maybe that's something we'll explore in the next episode, actually. What does that mean? Because there was a lot of lessons I learned through that process of trying to love myself. You know, what does that even mean? What does that look like? I feel I'm at a point where I can quite confidently say, in a very real sense, like, I love myself. That's an ongoing journey, of course. There's always room for more and more love. But yeah, I'm at a good point with that. Perhaps that's where we'll pick it up next time, speaking about that, and then speaking to the start of the unfolding of that journey. So yeah, have a wicked one. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the ride, and I'll see you soon.